In September 2002, something extraordinary happened in a quiet family garden. A photograph was taken of baby Anna, who seemed to be deep in conversation with a statue of Mother Mary. To her father, it wasn't just a child's babble, it felt as though his daughter was truly speaking with the Virgin Mary, and that Mary was speaking back. That afternoon, Anna's mother had been taking pictures of her in a brand new dress when suddenly the digital camera's batteries went dead. After quickly replacing them, she turned back toward her little girl and froze. There was Anna facing the statue of the Blessed Mother, speaking in soft baby babbles, then pausing, almost as if she were listening to someone reply. The exchange went on for several minutes. Then, as naturally as it began, Anna simply went back to playing, leaving her parents in awe. For them, it was a sacred moment, one they believed was more than coincidence. Other children's encounters. This wasn't the only time such encounters were seen. Years later, a video surfaced online of another child, a little girl named Emma Jo. In it, Emma approaches a statue of the Holy Mother with pure innocence, placing her tiny arms around it in a gentle embrace. Her mother recorded the tender moment, a memory she would treasure forever. "She's so sweet, huh? Emma Jo? Oh, good hug. Say bye, Mary." In another video, a little boy stands before a towering statue of Jesus on the cross, his small hands lifted upward as he gazes intently at it. The scene is deeply moving, watching such a young child completely absorbed by this powerful image of love, sacrifice, and faith. These moments, captured on camera, have sparked countless discussions online. Are these children simply mimicking adult behavior, or are they genuinely connecting with something spiritual? Introduction to Little Nelly. You've just seen how the innocence of children can reveal something powerful, the way their pure hearts are drawn to Jesus and Mary with no hesitation, no doubt, no fear. But what if I told you that one such child didn't just inspire her family or her community? She changed the entire Catholic Church. Over 100 years ago in Ireland, a little girl so frail she could barely walk carried a love for the Eucharist so deep that her story reached the Pope himself. And because of her, millions of children to this very day receive Jesus in Holy Communion at a younger age. Her name was Little Nelly of Holy God. And though she lived only 4 short years, her life continues to echo across the world. Nelly's early life. The year was 1903. In County Waterford, Ireland, Ellen Organ was born, though everyone simply called her Nelly. She was the youngest of 4 children in a poor Irish family. Her father, a soldier, was often away. Her mother, though loving, was frail and ill. Nelly was not like other children. From the start, she was plagued by poor health. She suffered from spinal tuberculosis, which left her body weak, and in constant pain, doctors had little hope that she would live long. And yet, despite her fragile body, Nelly's spirit carried an unusual strength. Even as a toddler, those around her noticed something different. She was gentle, patient, and strangely attentive whenever prayers were said at home. Her older siblings fidgeted during family prayers, but Nelly sat perfectly still, her large eyes wide with wonder. Her mother died when Nelly was very young. Soon after, because of her father's military service, Nelly and her siblings were placed in the care of the Good Shepherd Sisters in Cork. Life in the convent. It was there, among the convent walls, the chapel, and the quiet presence of the nuns, that Nelly's extraordinary spiritual journey truly began. Though only 3 years old, she had a maturity and serenity that startled the sisters. She did not complain of her pain, though the disease twisted her tiny frame and made even breathing a struggle. Instead, she smiled, prayed, and often spoke of Holy God, her innocent name for Jesus, in the Blessed Sacrament. The illness was cruel. Spinal tuberculosis, lung disease, and decayed jawbones left her constantly aching. Most children in her condition would have grown restless or irritable, yet Nelly bore her suffering with strange calmness. The sisters who cared for her were deeply moved. They would later testify that they often found themselves strengthened in their own faith simply by watching her endure her illness with a smile. Even in her bed, when her little body trembled with fever, she would clasp her hands together and murmur, "Holy God, Holy God." Her devotion to the Eucharist. At just 3 years old, Nelly showed an astonishing reverence for the chapel. Whenever she was brought near it, her eyes lit up with joy. She seemed to sense the presence of the Blessed Sacrament long before anyone explained it to her. The sisters noticed that she would point toward the tabernacle and say with childlike certainty, "There is Holy God." For Nelly, the convent chapel was the most sacred place on earth. Whenever her weak body allowed her to be carried inside, her face glowed with excitement. While most children her age were restless, Nelly seemed completely absorbed, as though she were gazing at someone she knew personally. The The sisters noticed how she whispered softly to herself during Mass. When they asked what she was saying, her answer was always simple: "I am talking to Holy God." She had not been taught theology. She could not read. And yet her understanding of Christ's presence in the Blessed Sacrament was deeper than many adults. The question of communion. One day, a sister tried to explain to her why she could not yet receive communion. At the time, church law required children to be at least 12 or 14 years old before their first communion. But Nelly, not even 5, looked up with wide, pleading eyes. "Why not?" she asked. "I want Holy God. I love Him. He loves me." Her innocent desire began to stir something in the hearts of the nuns and priests. Could it be possible that this little girl truly understood the mystery of the Eucharist? The chaplain of the convent, Father Bry, decided to test her. He asked Nelly questions about the Eucharist, carefully chosen to see if she really grasped what it meant. To his amazement, her answers revealed a faith far beyond her years. She insisted that Jesus was alive in the host, that He was her friend, and that she longed to be united with Him. News of her devotion spread quickly. Other priests came to visit, curious about the child known as Little Nelly of Holy God. Each one left astonished. Her first communion. The bishop granted permission. Though it was extraordinary, he recognized in Nelly a spiritual maturity that could not be explained by her age. Nelly, frail and trembling, was carried to the altar. Her little hands were folded tightly, her eyes wide and radiant. She whispered again and again, "I want Holy God, bring me to Holy God." When the priest placed the consecrated host upon her tongue, something remarkable happened. Her face lit up with indescribable joy. Those who were present never forgot the sight. It was as if her whole being was glowing with peace. She clasped her hands, closed her eyes, and whispered softly, "My Jesus, my Jesus." The sisters, many of whom had served in religious life for decades, were moved to tears. They felt they were witnessing a mystery, God pouring His grace into the soul of a child whose faith was purer than anything they had ever known. From that day on, Nelly's devotion only deepened. She begged constantly to receive Holy Communion again, and with the bishop's approval, she was allowed to receive frequently. Her final days. By early 1908, it was clear that Nelly's little body was giving out. The tuberculosis had spread to her bones, lungs, and jaw. She suffered terribly, yet even in her agony, she radiated peace. Her final days were marked by extraordinary calm. Nelly spoke often of Holy God, assuring the sisters that she was not afraid. "I will see Him soon," she said with a smile. On February 2nd, 1908, the feast of the Presentation of our Lord, Nelly quietly breathed her last. She was only 4 years old. The sisters knelt by her bedside in tears, yet also with a sense that heaven itself had drawn near. The Pope's response. Word of her holy life spread quickly through Ireland and beyond. Eventually, news of little Nelly reached Pope Pius VI in Rome. He read about the child who, despite her tender age, had shown such deep love for the Blessed Sacrament. The story profoundly moved him. According to witnesses, the Pope exclaimed, "There, that is the little one who will be the patroness of the Eucharist." At the time, the Church generally required children to wait until adolescence before their first communion, but Nelly's witness convinced the Pope that age should not be the deciding factor. What mattered was the child's understanding and love for Jesus in the Eucharist. Just 2 years after her death, in 1910, Pius VI issued his famous decree, Quam Singulari. The document lowered the age of First Communion to around 7, the age of reason. It was a monumental change, one that opened the doors of the Eucharist to countless millions of children around the world. Behind the change was the memory of a frail Irish girl who had longed for Holy God. Her legacy. More than a century has passed since little Nelly of Holy God left this world, yet her story continues to shine. She lived only 4 years, too short a time to make any mark by the world's standards. And yet, through her innocent faith, she left an imprint on the Church that will never fade. Her tomb in court quickly became a place of quiet pilgrimage. Visitors came to pray, to leave flowers, to ask for her intercession, and countless children since 1910 have knelt at the altar rail much earlier in life because of the change inspired by her witness. Perhaps her greatest legacy is the reminder she leaves us all, that holiness is not complicated. It is not reserved for the strong, the educated, or the powerful. It can blossom even in the weak, the sick, the forgotten, and the very young. Today, her story invites us to look again at our own approach to the Eucharist. Do we come with the same longing, the same love, the same childlike trust that she did? In a world often distracted by noise, ambition, and doubt, Nelly's voice still whispers from history. Holy God is here. He loves you. love him too. Her life may have been brief, but it was enough to remind the world of something eternal, that in the smallest and weakest among us, God often speaks the loudest. Which moment moved you most? Baby Anna's conversation with the statue, Emma Jo's gentle embrace, or little Nelly's life that changed the church forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more stories of faith that defy explanation.